idea either. Today, the Alaska Independence Party has nearly 19,000 members, making it the third largest political party in Alaska. That's nearly 19,000 Alaskans that are fed up with the federal government's interference in our affairs, who believe that our future should be determined by Alaskans, not by Washington bureaucrats. For decades, Alaska has been treated as a resource colony by the federal government. Its wealth extracted, its people given little say over how our lands or waters are managed. Do you know that the federal government controls over 60% of Alaska's land? Or that the wealth from our oil and natural resources often flows straight to Washington and DC with minimal return to our communities? This is not just unfair, it's unsustainable. Look around the world and you'll see a new era of self-determination emerging. People everywhere are recognizing that they have the right to govern themselves, to protect their own interests, and to preserve their unique cultures. Alaska deserves the same. We have a right to our own voice on the global stage. Now let me make something very clear. We're not anti-American. Alaska has been a part of the United States since 1956, but we've always been different. Our relationship with the federal government has been one of tension with Washington.
And real quick, if I just might add in,
Yeah.
Viva todos Californios.
Right, absolutely. We've been doing a lot with MIBC for a while. We put the picture up of the day that we went out and met them, and there is a unique overlap in history between California and them and their independence.
Article 1, Section 2 of the Texas Constitution makes it perfectly clear. All political power is inherent in the people, and they have at all times the inalienable right to alter, reform, or abolish their government in such manner as they may think expedient. These words reflect a powerful truth, that governance must always align with the will of the people. In 1836, ordinary Texans decided to take their future into their own hands. We are joined by others who share our belief in self-governance, in autonomy, and in the right of people to decide their own destiny.
Yeah, I have to agree with Jay there, absolutely. I mean, this is exactly what centralized governments do. A representative democracy is an absolute farce because the definition of the premise of their existence is to represent the people. But what we found is that the more centralized a government is, the more it acts in its own self-interest and in fact works in opposition to the interests of the people.
Marcus, tell us, what is it about California that makes it so that we should or could be independent? Why should we? When should we? Where should we? How should we? Give us all the details, my brother, mi hermano.
Neither Trump and Kamala have talked about how California is a donor state and loses the amount of money that it could be used to fix poverty permanently in San Francisco, or the equivalent to around $450 billion in losses since the 1980s. Neither one of them, as mentioned, were $500 billion in losses, or that we lose around 18 to 100 billion every year, which is more than what it would take to end poverty in the Bay Area and then end poverty in Los Angeles within 2 to 3 years. We're not allowed to do that. Neither one of them will bring it up. You go to work at the federal government, you work for the federal government. You no longer work for California. You go to DC and you work for DC and America. Kamala started backing these policies. She never would have done that here in California. Our safety is still going to be hurt. Our economics are still going to be limited. We're still going to be a donor state, and we're still going to be tied to a global war empire that most Californians don't like. The largest protest against the Vietnam War were in California. The largest protest against the Iraq War in 2005 were in California. We have been the #1 largest destination for physically protesting American wars for 60 years.